Welcome back to another video. Today we are talking about the PR57, and if you have ever thought about getting a 5.7 but decided not to because it's incredibly overpriced and expensive, and also the FN 5.7 kind of shoots like doo-doo, and the Ruger 5.7 kind of shoots like doo-doo, the Smith & Wesson 5.7 kind of shoots like doo-doo, go ahead and mash that subscribe button below, because today we're talking about another 5.7 that kind of shoots like doo-doo but is actually really good. The Kel-Tec PR57, a gun that I did not want to like, but I ended up coming around to, and I'm going to give this, surprisingly, the glowing desktop recommendation. Let's get into it. Because if you do, you should probably like my channel sponsors that help me make these videos possible. And YouTube is getting more and more strict about how I would pitch these things to you. So I'm going to have to let you know that HSL Ammunition sponsors all the bullets that you see. Gun Prime may be the place to go for the Kel-Tec PR57. Gideon Optics obviously makes the most quality, affordable optics. And if you need a concealed carry belt because you decided that you want to carry this gun, Hunter Constantine makes the fattest belts. Now remember, if you go to any of their websites and use the code PLEASE at checkout, you will save some money, but more importantly, you're going to tell them that you actually watch my channel and you want them to keep supporting my channel, because YouTube is going to pay me $20 for this video if I'm lucky. Thanks so much, and let's get back into it. All right, so if you live under a rock and you don't know what 5.7 is, I'm going to give you the poorest, most quickest definition of 5.7 that I can come up with by showing you a 5.7 round next to a 9mm round. So as you can tell, the 5.7 round has more length, but the 9mm round has more girth. Similar, in fact, that the 9mm round has a little bit more speed than a 45, and that's what makes it terminally ballistic and ballistically capable. The 5.7 has even more speed than a 9mm, which is where it gets its ballistics from. So you're looking at a little baby looking like rifle round that might have come out of your 5.56 rifle and then accidentally got shrunk in the dryer or something like that, versus a 9mm round. So it is a very small round that moves very fast. That is the simplest thing to say, and it's quite cooking. It's coming out of this Keltec at around 2,000 feet per second, which is pretty dang high velocity, which means that basically you're going to get expansion, and it's supposed to defeat soft armor. Whether or not it does defeat soft armor is to be determined. I guess I'll find that out in another video, but it's that was its original thought process, was we need a little round that can go super fast and defeat soft armor, and so the 5.7 round exists, and it's pretty cool. It's got very similar ballistics to 9mm. I would say it's a little bit above 380 and a little bit below 9 in terms of ballistic capabilities, but obviously the advantage of it is that since it is a very small round that goes very fast, it's a very light recoiling round, with a very strange recoil impulse is, I guess, the easiest way to say it. So with that out of the way, I will also give you guys kind of a gel block test, just a rough and dirty gel block test of 9mm, 5.7, and 380, just to give you kind of a further concept, if that helps. But before I do that, I'm going to give you an overview of the PR57, which is why we're here. So the PR57 was announced by Keltec at SHOT Show, I believe it was released, and I remember walking around there and seeing it at SHOT Show and deciding at that time that I hated it, and I did not like it at all. I saw it at the counter, and this guy presents to me this gun. This gun is super thin with a non-detachable magazine. So that means that the magazine is completely internalized. So when I rack the slide here and it's locked back, if I wanted to load this right now, I would have to pull out my Keltec branded stripper clip, park it in here like this, and then you push down here with your thumb. I'm not going to load it because I'm currently talking about it, but it's actually not inconvenient to load once you get used to it. I kind of just do that, and it's pretty dang easy to slip it in and load it. Faster than dropping a magazine and reloading? Absolutely not. Fast enough to reload during a gunfight? Absolutely not. But it is, it's a pretty convenient way to load, and you could, in theory, carry some extra stripper clips with you if you wanted to, because Keltec sells a bunch of them on their website for pretty dang cheap. So that was pretty much the thing that the guy presented me with, and I remember asking him immediately why. Like, why not just make it a detachable magazine? And he said the goal with this was to make it as thin as possible, and also, when do you ever need to reload in a gunfight? And that's kind of something that's haunted me since they said that, and they are kind of correct. The majority of gunfights are 3 rounds, 3 yards, 3 seconds, as we know, and 20 rounds plus 1 in the chamber. 21 rounds should give you more than enough to not only take down one assailant, but multiple if you need to, and hopefully not result in you ever needing to reload. That is the thought process there, and the non-detachable magazine is why this gun is so thin. So I've shot the Ruger 5.7, the FN 5.7, and not the PSA 5.7, but the MMP 5.7, and they are thick boy grips because you have a 21 round magazine that goes in the base of it, and it ends up being pretty dang wide. About as wide as a Glock 19, so not like, ooh, super wide, but wider than I'd want to conceal carry, especially for the size of these guns. They're all very, very large. This one, on the contrary, comes in at thinner than my Glock 48, and it's thinner at the base, but it's about the same thickness at the front here, and Keltec did that on purpose. They give you an optics plate in case you want to mount a dot. Me, I'm a dot guy, so I always want to mount a dot. But if you choose to conceal this, it's very rounded. You'll notice all of the edges are very rounded, and they all taper off, and they really did lend this to be as concealable as humanly possible. So its rounded slide presents a strange grip feel because they rounded the top of the slide, and it goes all the way down, so when you get to the base, it's like you hit the curve of the slide, which is a little bit strange, but they did cut into it a whole bunch, so plenty of room to grip it, and it's not a heavy slide pull at all. It doesn't have to be because 5.7 is not that heavy of a recoiling round, so when you pull the slide back, it does have a super long slide pull, which is something you notice while you're shooting. It's got kind of a longer stroke to it, but it's not a hard hitting gun by any stretch of the imagination. It's very soft and very pleasant to shoot, due to the fact that it is 5.7, and they're using a double recoil spring here with a rotating barrel to cycle rounds. So it's a different system than we're used to. It's very neat, in my opinion, and it ends up being quite effective and quite soft and pleasant to shoot. One of the other complaints that I've heard is that it's a double action trigger, which it is, but it's a smooth double action trigger, and this gun shoots great if you know how to shoot with a double action only trigger. So I have a target right there, and hopefully my camera will refocus on it, and I think it has. So we're gonna shoot just like a quick little grouping. Anyway, very quick and dirty little grouping, and then take our camera off the tripod and come over here. Oh, and it shoots fine. Okay, so the gun shoots totally fine. I don't shoot the greatest, but no, it's a great gun to shoot. It shoots totally fine. I really enjoy it. So I had 1,000 rounds of Federal while I was shooting this that I've been putting through it nonstop, and actually while doing the research to kind of button up this review, because it's kind of weird to give a positive review to a very, very budget firearm, I came across a guy who posted his video and said his was a jam-o-matic. Just these guns just jam nonstop. And guys, I do want to take, this is like a brief moment to say, if your gun is jamming nonstop from the factory, email your manufacturer, send them a video of it, because there's a good chance that that's not what they want your gun to do, and they will take care of it. And unfortunately, this guy did not respond to me in the comments. He did not respond to my message asking him if he had reached out to Keltec or if he'd tried different ammo types. And so since he didn't, I actually went and bought the specific Frontier ammo that I saw him using in his video. It's very distinguished because of its black tip. And I've now been only shooting his specific Frontier ammo through this, and I'm not having any jams at all. So I'm confident in saying that his gun was a lemon, and he should have probably reached out to the manufacturer. Back onto that, Keltec is kind of hit or miss with their QC, but they do take care of people very rapidly and very quickly. If you remember, we did a Keltec RDB video multiple years ago where I threw the Keltec into a tree and broke the handle almost immediately. Keltec was extremely quick on a response. They offered to fix it. They said send the gun back and they would repair it, and it was almost instantaneous response. So I've tested their customer service independently. I think when we did that video, I had less than 10,000 subscribers. I was a nobody. I still am a nobody. They still don't know who I am. But that being said, their customer service and customer support was very quick. So if you get a gun, the first thing you should do with any gun is go and shoot it and test it and make sure it works. So you can contact the manufacturer if you have any problems. So mine has not had issues, and I'm confident in saying that they're not supposed to have issues. So I haven't had any jams or malfunctions in the last 500 rounds, sans 2 light strikes that we just had today. And I did, while I was filming a take here, I racked the slide, and I did something on this that is a no-no on YouTube. But if you pull the trigger down, this is how you disassemble the gun. You pull the trigger down, and then you let the slide come forward, and the gun itself will disassemble. If you don't pull the barrel, it won't click back in place. So if the trigger's out and the barrel detaches, I'm going to do that not on camera, so now the barrel's detached. When you rack the slide again, you have to pull the trigger again and then wiggle this to make sure it's in place. Otherwise, when you let the gun go forward, the slide will come off. It's a little bit tricky. It's a little bit weird to disassemble and reassemble. However, once you know that, you pull it back, you click this back in place, you wiggle this, you're good to go. It's just an extra step in the disassembly process. I did that, it got covered in dirt. So that could affect our reliability because, yeah, there's dirt all over the ground here. So I think I've done enough talking about this gun for like an overview. You get 21 rounds, you get the super thin profile, you get optics ready or not optics ready, you get the full polymer design, you get the rotating barrel, you get the double recoil pattern. I think you guys are probably fed up. You want to see me shoot it, and you want to know, like, how does this stack up against 9mm? So we'll go into the little quick and dirty ballistic test for 9mm, then maybe a little bit of a shooting compilation, and then we'll talk about my total final thoughts on this and why it somehow won me over. All right, so we didn't break out the slow-mo camera for this because it's a very quick and dirty version of is 5.7 effective? And I say quick and dirty because I have FBI ballistic gel here, but it's clear, as you can tell, not yellow, so it's not going to give you a real standard. But a lot of people are concerned or off-put when they see a 5.7 round that is very tiny and very not as big as their 9mm or 45, and they think to themselves, is this going to be effective? So I have my 380 that I carry with my defensive round. So this is a G9 defensive round. These are like plus P 380 rounds. I have the CR 920 XL. This is actually a really cool gun. It's like a Glock 48-esque type gun, and this is chambered in 9mm. I have generic carry hollow points in here, and then obviously I have the PR57 with the defensive rounds that guy was having malfunctions with that I haven't had any issues with. So here we go. My 380, and there's already a 22 Magnum in this ballistic gel block, so we're going to try to shoot it here. 380. That's a G9 380. 9mm. That is a 9mm hollow point. That went all the way to the back of my gel block. And 5.7. Here we go. That come out the side? No, I don't think so. Grab the gel block and take a look. No, we managed to... Oh, yeah, it did. It ripped out the side. We're going to do one more with the 5.7. There, it jumped out the side. Okay, here we go. That's better. All right, we're going to do one more because apparently this is just wanting to get out of the gel block. So we're going to do one more. Very straight on. I turn the gel block around, see if we can catch this 5.7 round. And it curved down again. One more. There we go. That was straight across. So we did this again. This way, you can see the 380 stopped right about there. 380 stopped right about there. The 9mm went all the way to the back of the gel block. Some nice flowering. Most of the wound channel obviously right at the very beginning here, and it's stuck in the end there. 5.7, these two rounds both curved and managed to exit the gel block. So we put them through on this side. And on this side, you can see see if we can get this in a way where you guys can actually see the gel block. We did catch one almost all the way to the back, a little bit further than the 380, and the mushrooming is pretty insane up until the point where it stops. And that's mostly due to the velocity that these come out at. They come out at like 2,000 feet per second out of this tiny little barrel. So even here you see this massive wound channel, and then this one also got caught, and it's right near the end so you can see, but complete flowering, really, really good flowering of the round. Obviously you're hitting that velocity. Both of them did flower. Yeah, so not a comprehensive test. Obviously, we didn't throw fabric in front of it. This is ballistic gel, so it's not going to give us like a real idea of how this is going to perform in flesh. But the penetration is definitely there. It shoots a little bit more penetration than 380, a little bit less penetration than 9mm. And this 380 again is like a plus P external hollow point from G9. This thing's cooking, and this managed to cook faster than it. Not a big surprise, of course. This comes out at like 2000 FPS. This comes out at like 1500 out of my little short barrel. So, but yeah, 5.7 it's an effective round nonetheless. Before I get into why this gun won me over, let's talk about complaints with this gun, because although this is a overwhelmingly positive review of a Keltec, I still have quite a few complaints, actually, quite a few complaints. So my biggest complaint is that I got this gun, and say I want to carry it. Say you're like, oh man, I really want to turn this into my concealed carry. But, you know, naturally, you want to concealed carry this with a weapon light, because you know, you're one of those guys who likes to have a weapon light. Well, they don't make a holster for this that will make it carry a weapon light. So you can put your Surefire X300 Turbo on there, and then you cannot get a holster. And when I say they don't make a holster for this with a weapon light, it's because literally only one company that I could find makes a holster for it, and it's Rounded Gear, I think, Rounded Gear, and they just make a generic PR57 holster. There are no other options. This is it. This is the only option for holsters. This is a big deal. I think this is a big reason why you don't see more people carrying this gun, because to me, this is a huge deal. And the other gripe is Rounded Gear's holster only lets you use the clips that are this way and not this way. And so I can't even put my preferred belt clip on this gun, because Rounded Gear's holster is for what I think is the crappiest belt clip, which is the one that you cannot tuck a shirt behind. And so I have to settle for this ulti-tuck clip, which I do not like at all. And to me, that's a big deal. Only one company has decided to make holsters for these, and I don't like that. So it has made it really hard to justify getting this gun unless you're willing to carry with either the hard plastic one or the ulti-tuck clip. But I really just do not like these metal clips, but it's the only option for this, so I can actually tuck my shirt in behind the gun. And then obviously it's the 2-prong clip on the top, so you're limited in terms of holster clip options. And then straight up, like I said, you can't have a weapon light of any kind. So for me, that's a big gripe. That's a big downside to this. And I'm hoping that some companies who make holsters, I'm looking at you, QVO Tactical, who watch my channel, will see this and start to make holsters for this gun that are light bearing. I think this gun specifically, it works really well with the like Nightcore little baby pistol light. That's actually really good. TLR7, TLR8, something like that. Maybe not an X300 Turbo, but you get the point. Like something with a light on it. And then obviously the ability to use my regular holster clips that I prefer, as opposed to I don't like the horizontal, I like the vertical pattern for my belt clips. So something like that. But yeah, one holster. I want to make sure I hammer in on that, because that's pretty upsetting. So yeah, Rounded Gear is the only place that makes a holster for this. But yeah, one holster, it's at least super cheap. Just kind of a bummer. Don't have any other option than this one. That being said, this is not a bad holster by any stretch. Like I said, it just has my gripes, my complaints. So I got it with the claw, and it is a very concealable gun still with this holster, even with my not preferred clip. But can't carry a weapon light. Can't really, there's no like tailoring options. So that's a big gripe. That's perhaps the biggest one. And then obviously my other gripe is just from an optics cut standpoint. This boy sits really high on here, so the optic sits really high on the pistol. The advantage of that, where usually I would complain, I would say I don't like it because it increases your bore axis, and when you recoil, it's harder to maintain the bore axis and to get the gun to return. The gun recoils so incredibly light that it doesn't matter. It's a high optic. It's not preferred for me. I like my optic to sit lower in the gun. Obviously, there's no co-witnessing with the sights, and it sits really high up there, so it floats out, which again increases the footprint of the gun, making it harder to conceal too. However, this gun recoils so light that I don't have any issues keeping the dot on target and getting it to return to zero. The recoil impulse on this gun is very straight back. It's not snappy by any stretch. I think that's partially due to the fact that 5.7 is not a hard recoiling round, partially due to the fact that they have the rotating barrel system, and of course mostly due to the fact that 5.7 is a long round, so you get that super overstroked kind of recoil impulse before the gun starts to snap back, which means it's not that snappy at all to the shooter. Just a very, very soft shooting gun. The other gripe, the other complaint that I've heard, and I think this might be why there's less holster availability, is I don't think Keltec is pumping out a whole bunch of these, and if they are, they're just selling really, really fast. They're incredibly affordable for what you're getting. You're getting 21 rounds of 5.7 at a sub $500 price point. in some cases, if you're getting the black one, a sub $400 price point, and they're never in stock. No, the big comment I've gotten from people is, oh, it'd be nice if I could get these, or when they're in stock, they're over MSRP, like the guys are marking up hundreds and hundreds of dollars. So that's where I guess Gun Prime kind of comes clutch here. They have a whole bunch of these and they don't mark them up, so they know that I'm making this video. They've been stockpiling them so that they're actually available in stock, because I knew that when I dropped this, people would say I can't find it anywhere. So Gun Prime does have them, and they're not ridiculously marked up. They're not over MSRP. They're actually incredibly reasonably priced on their website, and I don't think you're going to find it cheaper anywhere else. So that's cool. That makes it a lot easier for me to make this video and to tell you guys that these are worth grabbing and worth snagging, because I know that you can get them at the retail pricing for the regular price that they were designed to be from Keltec. So yeah, the positives of this gun: it's super lightweight. It weighs about a pound unloaded, so it's not a heavy firearm by any stretch of the imagination. It is lighter than pretty much all of its concealed carry counterparts that are similar size. While you would think that would be because of the cheaper construction, it's just because 5.7 is a baby round, and so it takes less metal to make, and they obviously skimped everywhere they could to make it as light as possible. So really light. I like that they tapered off the rear of this. 5.7 is a long round. It's a pretty lengthy boy, so you still get a full grip on it, but it's super thin, and they made it even thinner near the rear so that when you are concealing this on your person, it's a little bit more streamlined and secure. So if you are planning to conceal carry this, I would almost recommend not putting a red dot on it. This dot might come off when we're done with this review, depending on how this gun's going to get carried. And then for the recoil impulse, it's such a soft shooting gun that anyone can shoot this. So if you have say a wife who hasn't shot a bunch of guns before, and you're looking for a concealed carry gun for her, and you really want her to do 9, but she's not comfortable with 9, it snaps too hard for her, especially out of a subcompact, or you might have arthritis, you might be a little bit of an older person, 9's a lot snappier for you, and those tiny baby 380s are too snappy for you. This is a gun that pretty much anyone can pick up and shoot proficiently and shoot really quickly, women included. No problems with this. It's a very easy soft shooting gun for them. And to me, that was kind of a big selling point. I'm getting almost the ballistic capability of 9, even more potent than 380. So it's kind of like that great in between, but it recoils less than my 380, which means that women or new shooters are able to make follow-up shots with this gun a lot faster, which again, based on the designated audience of this product or the desired person to purchase this product, makes it kind of perfect for them. The 5.7 round is not cheap, but it's getting cheaper. I think I got my ammo for about 40 cents a round, that Frontier defensive loads, and that's what I would run for both range ammo and defensive carry. So you're basically just only shooting hollow points with this, because they don't really make range ammo. But that being said, it's just such an easy gun to shoot and get comfortable with that you don't have to shoot it all that much to feel confident in carrying it, in my opinion. Also, I need to go on a tangent and say, that's not to say I haven't shot the piss out of this gun. You'll see a lot of barrel wear on it in the B-roll, because we put over 500 rounds through it, and I'm putting another 500 rounds through it today, so it will have at least 1,000 rounds on it. We are 500 rounds of no cleaning. I just dropped everything in the dirt, so I suspect I'll have to clean it after we're done today. But again, no cleaning and no malfunctions. So a gun that I did not expect to like, a gun that I kind of thought I wasn't going to be crazy about because of the weird stripper clip system, ended up being something that I do really like. I think Keltec is onto something with the you only need 3 rounds, 3 seconds, and I think that 21 rounds gives you more than enough leeway to say, well, the exception is sometimes you need more, because my carry gun only carries 14, and then the Glock 19s only carry 15, so most people are only carrying about 15 rounds anyway, so this gives you 6 rounds more than that before you need to reload, and if you do have to reload with those, you're dead. In my opinion, if you're reloading in a gunfight, you're probably dead anyway. So all that to say, guys, that yeah, I like the PR57. It's grown on me. Not only has it grown on me, but it's reliable enough that I'd be willing to make it a carry gun for myself or someone that I care about, in the sense that I'm going to make it a carry gun for myself or someone that I care about. So yeah, the PR57, it's a gun I don't think is attractive. It's kind of ugly, but it sure is functional. It's a gun I really did not want to like, didn't think I would like, and here I am telling you that it's a good gun and it might be a good option. So I guess that's it, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, I will catch you in the next video, probably.